Top 10 biggest megaprojects in Australia. Australia has some of the most beautiful scenery and technical brilliance in the world. Have you ever thought about what it takes to finish some of the biggest building jobs in the world? Join us as we count down the top 10 biggest megaprojects that are currently changing the future of Australia. These projects range from huge urban developments to cutting-edge transportation networks. Which of these huge projects will have the most profound effect on the economy and environment of Australia? Watch out to find out. As part of its infrastructure investment program, IVP, the Australian government has committed to investing a total of $120 billion over the next 10 years in land transport infrastructure. This is contributing to the boom in infrastructure that the country is experiencing. In order to tackle Australia's national freight challenge, the IVP strategy intends to minimize congestion, improve regional connectivity, and better connect areas. The following is a list of the 10 most significant infrastructure projects that are currently being carried out in Australia. Number 10. A $4.4 billion Western Sydney Infrastructure Plan and NSW is being proposed. Roads in Western Sydney are going to be delivered and upgraded as part of a scheme called the Western Sydney Infrastructure Plan, WSIP, which is a 10-year program. The WSIP project is comprised of 6 separate projects, each of which has received an investment of $4.4 billion. These projects are as follows: the Northern Road, Bringley Road, the M12 motorway, Warrington Arterial Road, Ledbury intersection at Ross Street, and the local roads package. It is the goal of the WSIP to alleviate congestion, shorten travel times, and relieve pressure on the infrastructure that is already in place. For the duration of the plan, it is anticipated that the WSIP will provide support for 4,000 employment, both directly and indirectly. The West Sydney International Airport is scheduled to open in 2026, and the project is now in the procurement stage. It is anticipated that the project will be finished before the airport opens. Number 9. $5 billion for the Melbourne Airport Rail Link, VC. The Melbourne Airport Rail Link is a rail transit service that is now in the process of being procured. It will provide trains that travel between Tullamarine Airport and the central business district of Melbourne in less than 30 minutes. Due to the fact that the building of this rail link will result in the creation of more than 8,000 job opportunities, this IVP is scheduled to start in 2022, with the goal opening date being 2029. Number 8. $5.3 billion for the Western Sydney Airport in New South Wales. The Western Sydney Airport, also known as Nancy Bird Walton, is an infrastructure project that is scheduled to become operational in the year 2026. It will provide services for national, international, and freight transportation. In the year 2031, it is anticipated that this project, which is valued at $5.3 billion, will generate economic activity and give employment possibilities with an estimated total of 28,000 jobs, both direct and indirect. It is also anticipated that it will fulfill the expanding aviation requirements in Sydney, which are anticipated to increase over the course of the next 20 years. Number 7. At a cost of $5.4 billion, Cross River Rail, QLD. By removing the bottleneck that has been causing a capacity-constrained rail network to become congested, the Cross River Rail will revolutionize the way commuters travel throughout southeast Queensland. 102 kilometers of rail lines, including 5.9 kilometers of subterranean railway, will be utilized by the Cross River Rail in order to establish connections with newly constructed roadways and busways. Over the course of the project's lifetime, the Cross River Rail will generate more than 7,700 employment opportunities, including 450 apprenticeships and traineeships. With the completion of this project, an additional 18,000 seats will be added to the trains in Brisbane, and 14,000 drivers will be removed from the roads. Number 6.68 billion for the Westgate Tunnel, VC. By providing a second river crossing between the west and the city, the Westgate Tunnel, which is a cooperative project between the Victorian Government and Transurban, will get an alternate roadway to the Westgate Bridge. This will result in a travel that is both more expedient and safer. The construction of the Westgate Tunnel began in 2018, and it is anticipated that it will be completed in 2024. Number 5.13 billion for the Bruce Highway Upgrade Program in Queensland. Part of the infrastructure value proposition IVP, the Bruce Highway Upgrade is the most significant road infrastructure program in the state of Queensland. The improvement of this route, which began in 2013, is centered on delivering improvements in 3 particular priority locations. With the implementation of the wide center line treatment, upgrades to the intersections, and safety barriers, the level of safety has been significantly increased. In addition to this, it includes changes to the flow of traffic in order to increase the efficiency of the highway, as well as upgrades to capacity in order to improve economic opportunities by increasing the level of service provided on the highway. It has completed 23 important projects up to this point, including the following: 64 new bridges and 30 new rest stops, 300,000 miles of safer highways, treatment of 190 kilometers of the center line. This undertaking is anticipated to be finished between the years 2027 and 2028. Number 4. The National Inland Rail line from Melbourne to Brisbane will cost $9.3 billion. The Inland Rail project that will connect Melbourne and Brisbane will cover a distance of 1,700 kilometers and will connect two of the most rapidly expanding cities in Australia across the states of Victoria, New South Wales, and Queensland. With the completion of this IVP project, the national freight work will be finished, which is essential in order to facilitate the transportation of up to 35% more freight by the year 2040. More than 21,500 jobs, both direct and indirect, will be required to be supported by this project throughout its peak construction phase in 2023 to 2024. By the years 2049 to 2050, it will eliminate up to 200,000 heavy journeys annually, which will result in a reduction in carbon emissions. The first segment was finished in the year 2020, while the implementation of the second section began in November of that same year. Number 3, $11 billion is the cost of the Melbourne Metro Tunnel, VC. For the Metro Tunnel project in Melbourne, which is scheduled to be finished by the year 2025, the city loop will be untangled, a new end-to-end rail line will be created, and there will be 5 additional stations constructed. This will enable more trains to operate more often. After the completion of the Metro Tunnel, it is anticipated that the train network in Melbourne would be able to accommodate more than 500,000 additional passengers per week. Number 2, $12 billion for the Sydney Metro New South Wales. There are 2 different projects that are included in the Sydney Metro project: the Sydney Metro Northwest project and the Sydney Metro City and Southwest project. This IDP project is a fully automated metro rail system, which will be the first of its kind in Australia. Its goal is to boost the rail capacity of Sydney by 60% by the year 2024 at a cost of $12 billion. The opening of the Sydney Metro Northwest in the middle of 2019 resulted in the establishment of services that operate every 4 minutes. The Sydney Metro City and Southwest is an extension of the 30-kilometer-long Sydney Metro Northwest that is scheduled to open in 2024. It will result in the construction of 7 new metro stations and the improvement of 11 others. Number $1.166 billion for WestConnex NSA. This project, known as WestConnex, is the largest road infrastructure project in Australia. It is anticipated that it will reduce traffic congestion, generate 16,000 new jobs, and connect western and southwestern Sydney with the city. In total, this infrastructure project would create a highway network that spans 33 kilometers, consisting of both above-ground roadways 14 kilometers and tunnels 19 kilometers. The IVP includes this project, which is being delivered in stages, with the last stage being finished in 2023. This project is a continuation of the IVP. If you enjoyed this look into Australia's most impressive mega projects, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.